Thank you for joining for devotions. Okay, we're talking about cherishing your bride. Now, some of you may not be married. I want you to listen to this closely. Not that I knew everything about marriage. I didn't. You know, you don't know what it's going to be like until you're into it. But before I ever got married, I heard so much about marriage. I heard so much about what it meant to be a husband. So really, those of you who are not married, those of you who are married, and also ladies here, you should know what you should be looking for in your husband. And men should be looking at the ladies which are planning on marrying. And so let's get to the biblical principles here. Okay, so we're going to talk about cherishing your bride. Cherishing your bride. Understanding and honor. Okay, so we're to honor our wives and really understand them. This is one of the greatest verses on this. Look at 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives. It sounds ridiculous to say live, but that word in the Greek is, like really be there. Don't just be a roommate. Don't just be a tenant in the house. You're just sharing things. He says, I really want you to live with her, be with her, know her, be at home there with her. That's what that word means. He says, in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. Now, many people find this to be really insulting, especially women. No, this is of honor. Since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. Okay, I can spend the whole time on this verse here. Okay, so we're going to understand our wives, to the best we can. So we're to understand them. Try to be very understanding. Notice, honor the wife as the weaker vessel. Okay, this isn't putting women down. Now, I don't care what women's liberation says. I don't care what the liberal news media says. I want you to take note on something. You take every fantastic, awesome love story movie people love. We see a strong-willed woman. She doesn't need a man or whatever. By the end of the story, she wants that man to be her hero. She wants a man which she could lean on and trust, who's stronger in her, and he is stronger. Men, listen, God built us for the battle. God built us to be strong. We don't always feel that way, but we have all the equipment inside of us in order to do that. The wife is the weaker vessel in her emotions, physically. She cannot handle the stress in which you handle. And so really, you're to honor her almost like she's China, okay, like you're protecting her. Realize it. You got to watch what you say to her, how you speak, what you permit around her, and what you let her do, because you honor her and you love her so much. And notice it. She's an heir with you. Notice it. She's an equal heir into eternity. So this has nothing to do with how strong or who's more powerful. No, she's equal heir. And he goes on to say, if you don't treat your wife right, your prayers will be hindered. That's what that's saying. Wow. Think about this. You may love God and get into the Bible and you're doing all these right things, but you're not very nice to your wife and you don't treat her right as a Christian husband. And the Bible says it will block your prayers from being answered. If you didn't hear anything else in this devotion, you need to hear that. Look, be careful what you say. You could say something hurtful in 10 seconds. Every man's experienced this. But the wounds are still there 10 years later. Wow, watch what you say. Watch what you say. Look at Ephesians 5:33. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself. Notice, again, it keeps repeating this. A husband must imitate Christ's sacrificing love by putting his wife's needs and interests ahead of his own. So what he's saying is this. If we are really living like Christ, then what we're going to do here is we are going to sacrifice for our wife, not only because we love her, but because we love God. Okay, so listen, cherish your wives. Let's have homes that honor and glorify God and also model what Christ's love is before our children.